Hello everybody, it's Emily. Today I am here with a speed build for some tiny islands. I've been wanting to put a lot of different islands onto my island, if that makes sense. I just feel like I don't have quite as much water forming as I would like to have on my island at the moment, so I think if I put in some little areas, if I have a bit more river theme and just a bit more focus towards the water, I'm hoping that will kind of suit what I've been looking for, and I think it should be really interesting. I haven't done a big speed build in a while, so I'm excited to do this. I hope you all enjoy. Please don't forget to leave me a like and a comment, they always make my day, and don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss my next video. So what I'm looking to do is to build a river that comes all the way up to these cliffs and kind of goes around where you can see those bamboo trees. And the way in which I start to terraform is just making a rough outline of where I want for my water to go. So you can see I kind of created this big section of water, and then I'm going to try and make this river look more natural just by coming in and rounding out some edges, and I'm adding in little pieces here and there where it kind of goes in and out so that it doesn't look like one straight block of river, which just suits my theme a bit more. I have a rainforest theme, so I think having nice natural looking rivers tends to help. I'm rounding out all of my corners, and as you can see I now have my island sorted out in the centre, and you can see that the river is really nice and natural looking. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And then what I'm going to do is start to work on where I wanted to place my tiny islands. I was thinking maybe to do 2 or 3, and I actually ended up doing 2 because I made one of them really big. And so I kind of want these to be odd shapes because the whole idea of my island is that it used to be a quite successful city, and over time everything has just broken down and you can kind of see all the remains of what used to be, and it's been taken over by the rainforest. So when I'm making these pieces, I want them to look natural, as if that's just how they happen to have been eroded, which I think is really nice. And so you can see I got that shape down there, just making sure that my river is a little bit bigger. I wanted it to be big enough that you could jump across so that I could still access these islands. And on the wider parts I was thinking I might even come through and add some more bridges just so that it becomes easier to traverse my island. And then here is where I'm putting the second island, right up against my cliffs, and I want for this one to be really big so that I have a lot of room to decorate on it. And I did decide to just kind of include the process of me terraforming here. I'm definitely not the most comfortable when it comes to water terraforming. It's something that I struggle, and I find it really difficult to create interesting shapes with it. So I decided if I included the process, if anybody else struggles like me, maybe you can see how I ended up doing it. I tend to start out with just a really rigid outline so that I have a rough idea of where I want my water to go, and then I start to come in and add little interesting bits, like right here I'm bringing the land down slightly so that there's a point on the end of it, and just kind of bulking it out a bit. I do think rounding out edges helps to keep my island looking more natural, and I actually have a video on 5 tips to help make sure that your island is more natural if you're interested. It's on my channel. And what I'm doing here is just again a bit like how I did with the first island, adding in some sections that come in and out so that it's not all one straight line, which is really cute, and it just means that the actual shape of this will be a bit more interesting. At the end I will show you how this actually looked on my map because I think it genuinely looks really good. Water on the map shows up so nicely. Now I get to do the fun part, which is actually decorating these mini islands. So I'm starting out on this big one by placing down 2 trees, and then I did want to still put 1 tree at least onto my other baby island, and you can see I did end up having room for just 1 bamboo tree, which looks very nice. And I just think the bamboo trees are probably one of my favourite because they are so luscious looking, especially now that they're in this beautiful green. They just look so inviting. I really love them. I'm coming around with some stone paths, which is again kind of linking back into that theme of there must have used to be something here, because you wouldn't put a path just across an island for no reason. So clearly this used to be leading somewhere, but now it's been broken down by all the water. To place my flower, I actually decided to use the dirt path on the end, which I think looks really nice. And I know that cosmos is not fully grown in, but if you stick until the end, I do a walkthrough, and so by that time everything will be nicely grown in so that you can get a look for what the actual final build looks like. And I'm just filling in spaces using some of these tiles, any type of custom design, just to kind of bring it some more life. That's why I really like to use the little flower codes, because they just make it look like your island is absolutely covered in life. And this keiko tree, I didn't want it to be completely lined up with where my bamboo tree went, so I'm actually bringing it to the side a bit, which is where I had to move my flower. And I'm using some more custom designs to help fill out this area, and having it placed onto custom designs gives some more depth to the build. And there I go, just slightly misaligning it with that tree, which looks so nice. And then I will just replace my flower down here so that it kind of covers up some of the bag that's at the bottom of the keiko tree. And I wanted just one more little detail, so I ended up using the log stakes. Log stakes aren't something that I normally use a lot on my island, but I actually found that placing them right in this corner here looked quite nice. See, I think it looks good. And just trying to figure out which way I wanted it to stand, and I think that genuinely does look quite nice. Again, maybe there used to be a fence back there. It just kind of plays into the imagination. On this bigger island, I wanted to come through and use a lot of my camellia bushes so that this one looked a lot more filled in with life and just a bit more interesting. And then on this big island as well, I had enough space to actually use some of my 9-tile path, which I think is so gorgeous. I genuinely love this path. I use it all the time. It's definitely the main path for my island, more so than what the stone pathing is. So I decided to place in just a little kind of chunk of this, and it looked quite cute. But as you can see, there wasn't enough room for me to finish out that very last tile, so I did have to kind of add in a square right in here, which wasn't ideal because then it meant that edge wasn't rounded, but I decided it was worth it to have a piece of pathing going in there. And then just to tie in my two islands, I want to make sure that they look linked, so I'm going to use the log stakes again. I just want to have them have some little tie-ins. And I'm just checking which way I had the log stakes positioned, because I didn't want it to be the exact same, so you can see I turned this one around. And I think that's nice, they're both on the right side of my islands, so it just gives them something new and interesting. Some more flowers. The flower themes which I picked for this were red, yellow and orange, which is normally what I choose for my island, but in some builds, a bit like if you've watched my Flora's house build, you'll see that I chose pinks, which is why it's just a little bit different. But for this one, I went with the classic colours, which I think look so beautiful. Red, yellow and orange definitely is one of those combinations that just works for everything. And I think that looked really good, just coming in with more custom designs. Right back here, I placed a clothing line, and I honestly love that. It can be hardly seen unless you kind of peek around the corner, and I just think it's such a sweet little detail to be able to hang up your clothes there. A lot of fun. And I wonder how everybody is feeling about Bunny Day. I know it's not something that I actually played last time because I did not get the game right at the start of it coming out. I actually got it in May, so I had a couple of months, I believe, after it first came out. So I've never played a bunny day, so I'm feeling excited. And then I go onto my Instagram and there's so many people talking about how much they hate bunny day or they're really not looking forward to it. And I just think it's interesting because no other event has had that much hate, but it's something that I actually am looking forward to, and I know most people aren't looking forward to at all. What I'm doing now is just coming through and rounding out some more of my corners, just fixing up the tiny details, and I am done. So let me take you on a final walkthrough. We have my island in the middle, which I'll probably decorate in a let's play at some point, but you can see the river wraps all the way around there. And it's just very beautiful. Here is how it looks on my map. If you kind of look up into the top, you can see where I'm stood and just see how it turned out. I think it looks genuinely gorgeous. I really love how the water has turned out, and the shapes just add so much interest. So I'm really pleased with how that looks. It ties in very nicely with how my shops and my museum are decorated. And then here I am on the big island. You can actually see I got some of those bunny day eggs forming on this tree. And as I say, I'm taking part. I'm excited for bunny day. So here I am gathering up my leaf eggs. And then if I come and take you to the other island, again, really nice and natural looking. It's tied in by those log stakes, and I just think it looks so gorgeous. And so with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. It really does make my day that I get to produce this content for you. Please don't forget to leave me a like and a comment on this video, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you won't miss anything that I post in the future. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!